Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Pierce, alongside of my good co-host Schmitty. So, what a mom's trip it was for the Blackhawks. Well, particularly for Connor Bedard, but as Connor Bedard said, the moms are fired up that they not only for that but for us recording a PJ's Cast. So, how are you? How was watching that in person, that Connor Bedard 2-goal game, the first of them?
It is probably the best hockey game I've been doing in at least 5 years. Just because normally when I go to a game, like all the goals happen on the other side of the ice that I'm sitting on, and every goal in the first period happened right in front of me, and I was 3 rows off the glass, just taking it all in. Like it was insane. I couldn't really see what was going on the other end of the ice from where my seat was, so like I didn't see when Bedard got hit in the mouth or like how Taylor Hall got hurt in the knee on knee and whatnot,
Yeah.
and like how like the puck kind of like banked the Kucherov off a flub shot. But the game was fucking insane, dude. Good amount of Hawks fans as always in Tampa. Gotta love it. The guys sitting behind me were they came all the way from Sweden to see Bedard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And,
You're saying that.
and they were like, "How good is this kid?" And I was like, "I mean, he's on pace for 40 goals." That was going into that.
And yeah, that was before.
Yeah, he's on pace for 40.
Games, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he's just scratching the surface. Like I've seen what Hughes has done before, and like this kid live, like Boston. When I saw him against Boston, the whole team kind of was a little lackluster that game. This game, they were firing on all cylinders in the offensive zone, and like seeing that kid just see plays 3 seconds before they happen, basically stripping the puck off Kucherov, like. Dude, it was insane. I lost my voice in the first period. It was a hell of a hockey game to attend. And then I couldn't even tell if Korchinski got his first goal because of the angle. So, like, I had to check online to see. But it was fucking awesome to see him get his first goal. Like you said, it's a very, very good trip for the kids. Reichel started
and for the moms. Just good
for the
vibes.
moms. Yeah, until they put Amy Jones on the broadcast for 20 minutes.
Oh.
I'm sitting there talking to my dad. I'm just like, can they go to a commercial, please? Like, it's nothing against Amy. It's just I don't think they expected this interview to go 10 minutes in game time.
Is that how long it was? I have no idea. Because all I did was I saw it, that it was happening, but I didn't know it was that long.
It happened till at least the 10-minute mark of the second. So
oh, boy.
Stoppages and all. And I was like trying to figure out who it was at first, and then they say it, and I just started laughing because I was like,
"Oh,
I know Twitter's gonna be a hook." Yeah. My dad's like, "What? Why are you laughing?" I was like, "Cause she's a very talkative one on Twitter." Let's just
you should just been like the Joker meme. You wouldn't get it.
You would
if your dad's not on Twitter. I don't know,
dude. But the trip was awesome. I was like thinking about going to that Florida game, and I was just like, it's 1 o'clock.
Road trip,
yeah. But man, what a trip! And hope now. Once this 4-day break cuts off, they should be getting to a pretty normal schedule again. God.
Fucking breaks. That's why it's been so hard. These last couple of games have got me fired up just watching Bedard and them getting away against Tampa Bay. But it's been so hard to like get in the groove, not only watching the Blackhawks, but paying attention to hockey because, well, for the Blackhawks end of things, it's like they'll play a couple of games in like 4 days and then they'll have 4 days off or 5 days off. And it's like, what the hell? And then I look at the NHL schedule. It's like, oh, we got one night where, like tonight, where 2 teams are playing, and then I swear there's like another night where there will be like almost all teams are playing, but then it'll go back to like another 2. It's just so inconsistent. Like I wish there was more like better flow to it and more like teams playing on each night and not like going from one end to another end, like streaming. I don't know. I don't. It's been hard to follow the NHL because of that so far.
Yeah, scheduling sucks. It kind of always does, though. I mean, I don't know. I've just learned to work around it.
Yeah, it's really throwing. Maybe I was watching so much baseball where I'm used to them playing almost every day. Where I'm like, why isn't there a game? It's probably a little bit of that too. But no, I'm not like alone in like what the hell. The Blackhawks have like another 4 days off or whatever.
My whole thing is also like my favorite sport outside of hockey is football, and like those games are once a week. So like I've learned to have patience.
So you're serious to that, yeah.
Yeah, but like you're right. Like this is 2 weeks in a row where they have Monday through Wednesday off, and Monday through Wednesday off, and that's just a weird way for the schedule to work. Like they had 2 games last week. I think they have 2 this week. Like it's weird. But it's good for the old guys because they'll be rested up. And we saw what that meant on Thursday because guys like Foligno and Perry were firing on all cylinders. And now that
were they ever?
now that they're going to be shorthanded for a little while, like in terms of roster players, you're gonna need these guys to step up. And so, like, I think that game in Tampa really showed me a lot because they had 5 defensemen for like I want to say like 50 minutes of that game because
Jones played like 32 minutes, I think, or close to that. It was like 31 something.
Yeah, because Tenorti went down early, and like the 3 kids didn't. They were unfazed, and they just continue to look really good. And it's becoming really hard for me to think like they're never gonna sit these guys. Like they are everyday.
At least not for extended period of time. Like they might, if anything, it's good for them to like, especially when the schedule gets more condensed and they're playing a lot more games. To, just have them sit down every once in a while, have them sit in the press box or whatever. But yeah, it's nice that
they're playing well.
Time.
Yeah, like but like Kaiser, I think has really improved from like the first 2 weeks of the season. Vlasic's still rock solid. After he's
just been so like consistent, even after the injury, like so consistent. Consistently good. Like nothing flashy, but like he knows his role. He's more defensive defenseman, and he's been really good at that.
And like you said, Seth Jones played 32 minutes against Tampa. I thought he was the best player on the ice in the 3rd period of that Florida game. He was playing like a man possessed.
Now that's playing like a guy with a $9.5 million contract.
Well, I mean, he was going like I always joke about like I don't know why he's trying to go coast to coast, but like that shit was working this time, and like he was getting shots through, and he was making the right passes, and like shooting for a rebound, and like that's the stuff I want to see from him. I don't want to see him flailing with the puck, like which is what has been the result for the first
the puck like a
games.
Yeah,
but it's all right. Like Seth last year, I want to say like settled in.
Last year he was very good. Even like the first year he was all right, but like last year that's probably the best version we've seen of Seth Jones.
Yeah, and it was more towards the second half of the year, so we'll see what happens. They're competitive, and that's all I can ask. That's more than what I expected. Like Kurashev, I think, has taken a step playing with Bedard.
I really like Kurashev, him taking that step because he's kind of past couple years, like he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been amazing either, and he has had some injury issues. So yeah, see him come back and take that step. It's a good thing to see for sure.
100%. And I mean, like I want to see more out of some guys still. Like Reichel's slowly putting it together, which I like to see. Radish, I want to see more out of. Before he got injured, Athanasiou, I need to see more out of. But like, there's only so much you can say about a team that's probably bottom 5 and competing with teams that are probably playoff teams. Like they split with the Eastern Conference champions. They've split with the Stanley Cup champions this year. They got some pretty impressive wins so far this year, and you can't help but see that as progress with the amount of young players that you want to be a part of this young nucleus that you're building around Bedard specifically, especially when Bedard starts taking off like he has, because these last 2 games are just that's the stuff you saw in junior, basically. Just I'm better than you. I'm the best player on the ice. You're not going to stop me. Like that goal against Florida, dude. The first one. He that's at the end of his shift, and he just goes, "Oh, forward's got the puck. Let me strip that off you," and just
yoink, that's mine. Yeah.
Not even looking at the goalie when he shoots. He's looking at Foligno for the pass, and it's stuff that you should not be seeing an 18-year-old do in this sport, and he's doing it and making it look extremely easy.
Routine,
yeah.
Like he's done it before, as if it's something to do. Yeah.
But like doing it against NHL defensemen and NHL forwards, like the second goal against Tampa, he absolutely after he strips Kucherov, he cooks Anthony Cirelli. So that's a guy who competes for Selke trophies every year. He is doing it against the best of the best, and I feel like that's what's the most impressive. He's not getting the weaker assignments like some of these guys are because they have the luxury of having better top 6 or something. No, Bedard's getting all the top assignments against the best players, and he's getting results, and I can't help but be happy about that from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's not that he's doing it, it's how he's doing it. Like, yeah, you bring up that goal where he just stripped it off I think it was Kevin Stenlund. Everyone's like, oh, he stripped that off the defenseman. No, that was a forward. But like the way, like it was very Patrick Kane-esque, like in the blink, like the snap of a finger, the puck's off your stick and in behind your net. Like taking it off the defender stick or force whatever, and like just sniping at top shelf at an angle, not even looking at the goalie. Like that's incredible. And then these and that's what the great players do. Like you could think you have like a read on them, and then they'll do one thing, and again, boom, puck is in behind your net, or like it's someone has space the puck and they have space with it because everyone was so focused on that one player. Like when they're playing against Tampa Bay, that play against Kucherov where he just takes the puck from him like it's nothing. Like these great players just make such great plays that you barely even notice at high speed. That goal, I think it was also against Florida, where like the puck wasn't flat, but he was still able to get the shot. Just like incredible stuff. Again, it's not that he's just doing it; it's how he's doing it as an 18-year-old who's been in the NHL for 1 month. Like he already looks acclimated, and he's I'd say he's lived up to the hype and then some. Like it's
Oh yeah, he's on pace for over 50 goals as a rookie, which is like that's just insane that he's even flirting with that right now.
Mhm.
And another thing I wanted to point out was I think another goal that needs to get more credit and relates to what you were saying about how he just draws so much attention. It helps his other forwards. That first goal against Tampa, man, it's a simple dump in. Bedard chases Hedman behind the net to get the puck. They're both defensemen are looking at Bedard on that play, which gives Kurashev the time to do that little backhand drag to the net. And then Bedard out positions himself on Victor Hedman and then just fucking puts it in the net and makes it look easy. Like stuff like that, I was not expecting to see.
Oh, but Victor Hedman's only 6. Oh wait, he's 6'6".
Yeah, that's the guy who's won a Conn Smythe, won a Norris Trophy. Like pretty good hockey player.
Hall of Famer, I would say. Like he's got half a foot on him.
And from what I've read, he's having a pretty like okay year this year, and just beat one of the best defensemen in the world. Like you can't help but be impressed like every time. And it seems like I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, he hasn't really had like a greasy goal since the wraparound, I'd say. Like every goal has been just like, you've got beat.
He's just
cleanly.
Sniping it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Picking corners. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, the second goal, he kind of just like he throws the backhand on and it goes off the goalie's pad. Sure. But like, dude, he's just lethal. He's fucking lethal. It's insane. And like all the analytics guys keep saying on Twitter, it's like, just wait till this kid gets line.
Yeah.
Well, no, like just wait till this kid gets line mates. Like if he's doing this now, like, oh my God, I hope William Nylander makes it to free agency. They could give
Mikko Rantanen, baby.
They could give him everything he wants. Like, sky's the limit for this kid.
And that's the thing I've been telling myself when I see these performances. I'm like, this is just the start. Wait till Connor Bedard is in his prime and has like elite, legit talent around them, and we'll get to watch this for 10, 15 plus years. Like, this is so awesome to see. Like, enjoy every minute of it, and I have been. It's been truly special.
Oh yeah, he's eating it up too. Like all these sellies are just make me like fucking laugh my ass off because like
the one where he's like just looking into the
staring
down the Florida fans. Yeah,
love it. Oh man, he's just so he is fun to watch every night that he is on. I don't give a shit what's on TV. I will be watching Bedard. Like
he is must-watch TV. Like you brought up earlier, the fans that were sitting behind you coming all the way from Sweden to watch Connor Bedard. Like he is a ticket seller not only for Chicago, but for people outside of North America are coming over, not just to Chicago where he plays, but Tampa Bay to watch him.
He's box office, man.
And now you kind of see why maybe the NHL and all their rights holders are over marketing them.
Also helps he's in a giant market, but
yeah, that as well. Yeah. It helps.
Yeah. Gotta love it though. And also shout out Peter Mrazek. He's playing his fucking ass off.
He's been so fucking good, dude.
Playing his fucking ass off. Like that Tampa game, he was locked in. Insanity. Soderblom, the fan base is kind of not giving him his due. Like he's facing 40 shots a game. He can only do so much.
Yeah.
It's like he's just not stopping like what 917. I think that's Mrazek's save percentage or something like that. Like he's not.
I think Mrazek is better than that. Like he's been very good. I think he's over 920.
We're gonna trade him at the trade deadline.
Dude, like we're gonna get into this team next. Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna get into this team next, or maybe there's a couple other teams that could use Peter Mrazek. Like I was thinking about this. Blackhawks we've been very blessed with goalies ever since Corey Crawford became a consistent starter.
They found a
Like,
guy every year, it seems like.
Like I think the first like year or two of Crawford's career were like not that great, but then once he won that cup in 2013, and I think really after 2015 when the team like started to decline and the defense wasn't like it used to be, and even the forwards like so Crawford had to bail them out a bit more. I feel only then is when we found out we got a pretty good goalie, a guy who can put up a 920 every year. Maybe he's not winning a Vezina, but you know what you're getting with Corey Crawford. And after he retired in 2020, like Kevin Lankinen came in, did an admirable job in that shortened year. Marc-Andre Fleury came around and did a pretty good job before he got traded. Last year, Alex Stalock was great. Even Peter
Jackson
Mrazek
Stauber even stepped in and played pretty good.
Even Peter Mrazek, I don't think his save percentage was that great last year, but like I feel he had more, I think really down the stretch he was a lot better and had a lot more good games that he did, and now this year he's been great. And Soderblom, he's still so young. It's hard for me to be like, yeah, he sucks, or like, yeah, he's gonna be an amazing goalie. But like you see the flashes.
So I don't like that.
You see the flashes, but then you still got Adam Guyan, who you drafted last year, got Drew Commesso in the minors, like even Jackson Stauber, like you can
solid in the minors.
Like you can give these guys chances. Like just one of them needs to be a decent goalie. We look around at Vegas last year; they won with Adin Hill. 2022 Avalanche won with Darcy Kemper. Not necessarily, the best
Jordan
of the best.
Binnington, 2019. Doesn't have to be Vasilevsky every year.
Or even like Hopi or any of that. Like Murray won a couple. Yeah, like you can go through the list. More often than not, usually it's a more middle of the road goalie. Like just, yeah.
I was gonna say, like the way they're trying to build this team is to where they could be so deep everywhere else that's not an issue. And like, I mean, granted, there are a couple teams right now that like one of them should be built like that and they're having goalie issues, and the other one is not built like that and is having goalie issues. So sorry. And goaltending is voodoo, wizardry, and bullshit. I don't know what else to say about goaltending. I swear to God, every year it's just like, oh, this guy's like the only thing that is like true every year is like Boston's gonna have really good goaltending and Jay Gallagher's always gonna be solid. That, and then Vasi, Igor, Sorokin, the big three. But like after that, I swear
Saros and Hellebuck in there. Maybe they're not quite at the level of that, but like there's probably
Hellebuck's struggling this year, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, no, I agree with Saros though, 100%. And then I just had like there's just like Philip Gustafson is the perfect example of why goaltending is just like you can't trust it, because he was
930 last year or more than that.
He's bottom 3 this year for goaltending. Like all the analytics, he's at the bottom. Like expected goals saved at the bottom. It's not great. Or goal save above expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
It's not ideal, but like you wouldn't know that if the year before he had a 932. So you have to sit there and wonder: is it the goalie? Is it the system? Goaltending's crazy, man. So like you said, I don't like. They got so many guys that they have chances of hitting on. I like that. I like playing the field on that one and not just putting your eggs in one basket. Like Detroit right now is just praying to God Kosa is going to be the guy.
Like it would be nice to have like a Jesper Wallstedt level goalie prospect where it's like as close as you're going to get to a guaranteed thing, but that rarely ever happens. Like looking at the goaltending stats right now, usually if you have good goaltending, it means you have very good team defense. Like number 1, Jeremy Swayman, 1.69 goals against average. Number 2, Adin Hill, 1.75 goals against average. One place for the Bruins, one place for the Vegas. Probably 2 of the most structured teams in the NHL, and they're also 1 and 3
the Bruce Cassidy
save
effect.
Percentage. Yeah, exactly. The Bruce Cassidy effect, and Dutcher Demko has done very well this year, and James Reimer and Jonathan Quick are up there.
Yeah, I heard Talbot's doing pretty good in LA as well. But
he has 7 wins, and he has a 221 goals against average and 923 save percentage. That's all they need. Gee, I wonder what other team in the Pacific Division could use him right now.
There's a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to get into it?
We can get into it right now. Let's do it. Let's talk about the Oilers. So I think the last time we talked about them, well, it would have been last week. I'm trying to remember the sequence of events and what happened because they were supposed to play
Oh, I know.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, you go ahead then with it.
I don't know what happened before the Sharks. All I know is they lost to the Sharks, and then Jay Woodcroft yelled at Mark Spector, or like, "I don't read your articles," blah blah blah, and seemed like everything
makes
was
two
fine.
of us here.
Yeah, right? Literally,
Yeah.
who reads that clown's article? Like,
Yeah.
not a chance. But then they go in on Saturday, play a pretty good game against Zach Hyman gets a first period hat trick against the Kraken. They get a win, get off the schneid on the way home. And then the next day he gets fired in the morning, and they end up hiring McDavid's junior coach or former junior coach. I don't know how to say his name.
That'll make him a lot more happier. Yeah, I think it's Chris Knoblauch. I believe that's how you say it.
And according to people who was he an interim coach for the Flyers or something like that?
I think it was.
Apparently, he
some
got
team
smoked.
in the Metro. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, he got smoked by the Rangers.
It might have been the Rangers. I don't remember.
I don't know. But here's my thing. If you were going to fire Jay Woodcroft, who, by the way, is the all-time winningest coach, or like has the highest winning percentage for a head coach in Edmonton Oilers history.
And like, it's such a rage because there are some very bad coaches, especially over the past 10, 15 years. But then there's someone that I think it's Glenn Sather who was there in their dynasty years. That's saying something. Like, this guy isn't a bum. He knows what he's doing. It's all on the GM, but usually it's the GM that wins out. And Ken Holland, I don't know. You continue.
I'm out on Ken Holland. I've been out on Ken Holland for
I feel like
as long as I've been on this show, man. Like since the Mike Smith thing, dude. Like I've been done with this guy.
Dude, and I think they would take Mike Smith goaltending right now. Jay Woodcroft would still have a job if they had Mike Smith goaltending.
Honestly, probably, but it's just the worst, man. Like this guy did not do anything this offseason to improve this team. Who did he sign?
Connor Brown, who, by the way,
doesn't have any points.
Yeah, one thing, so the thing with Connor Brown was he signed a minor league contract, but if he played 10 games, then it would trigger a $3 million bonus. He's at 9 games right now, and I bet the Oilers probably don't want to trigger a $3 million bonus, especially when they're up for it, or up against it for next year. So, what do you do there? And probably the worst part of it is the person who signed that contract, the agent, is their CEO, Jeff Jackson.
What a boys club.
The Oilers might be the ultimate, boys club, best example of boys club, because now they got Paul Coffey behind their bench. I
never coached ever, by the way, Paul Coffey. Yeah, should go over swimmingly. And sounds like the players are not too happy about the coach getting fired. So that should be – it's going to be interesting.
I was going to say no, but they're appeasing McDavid by hiring his junior coach. Don't you know?
Yeah, whatever. McDavid is clearly playing hurt, which doesn't help. But
no. He is – yeah, exactly. I was going to be like, there's no way that he's not healthy, fully percent. He's definitely still playing through it. Because I remember – when they did that Heritage Classic against the Flames, they were like, oh, McDavid might not play. And it feels like they rushed him back just for that. And he's definitely playing through something.
Yep. And it doesn't help when Draisaitl is ghosting on the stat sheet. Bro has been only doing cardio the last 6 games. So
cardio.
Don't it doesn't it doesn't help when you don't get depth scoring. It doesn't help when the two supposed best players in the world don't show up. Really hard to win that way. And then they're out shooting teams, and it's they have one defensive mishap, and then it just it's like an avalanche, dude. It just
they outshot the Sharks. I think it was 41-19, and they lost 3-2. It's not as if the effort isn't there, or they're getting their chances, and they're just, their PDO is god awful. They can't get a save, and they're just not getting any lucky bounce, but. And it's always the thing when a head coach gets fired. It's show me a good head coach, and I'll show you their show a good goalie, their save percentage, all that. And I think that's very much the case with the Oilers right now.
And my whole thing is if you're gonna fire Woodcroft, you got to at least bring in a veteran. You're not bringing in anyone that has a pedigree. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I get like firing him and like bringing in Bruce Boudreau or something. Like, I don't know if he
Yeah.
wants to coach anymore, but like, you know, someone who has won games in the NHL and
Mhm.
I
And a
don't
guy from all accounts just seems like good vibes. Like helped us
Mhm.
like because they like first and foremost, like their psyche and like mental health is probably in the gutter right now with how things have gone this season. Like even if they were like just struggling, like they were 4-6-1 or whatever, like they're close enough to make like if they win a couple games, they're back in it. But like it just seems they're so deep in it now, and you wonder how much further can they fall before it's too much to get back to surface level.
it might already be too much, man. Like
Mhm.
they are second last in the league right now. They have 5 or 7 points, I think.
Oof.
It's not good, dude. Like, and granted, McDavid and Draisaitl start playing like they did last year, they can rattle off like 8 of their next 11, and then everything's changed, and they're 500 again, and no one cares.
Mhm.
Need to see it. Need to see it. And right now, you want to know who their savior is? Because they sent Jack Campbell down? Calvin Pickard. Like, what are we doing here? Oh my god. Apparently they had a trade, some rumor about St. Louis that fell through. I don't know how much truth that holds, but who's gonna trade him a goalie? Why would you help this team right now? Like, unless they give you a crazy offer, which granted, if they give you this first round pick unprotected, yeah, take it. But I don't know.
Blackhawks, Kyle Davidson. I was gonna say it's always the thing of like, oh, if you're down and out, you're down bad as a general manager. Other general managers don't throw you
Unless you were Stan Bowman, then they always did. But
yeah. They don't throw you a life jacket. They throw you like a boat anchor, and you just sink even more. I don't think most NHL GMs are willing to help you when you're like that, and that's the whole problem. You bring up, oh, they had a trade in the works for Jordan Binnington. There's so much of, oh, Ken Holland, I could have done this, I could have done that, and
And he
almost
didn't.
never delivered. Yes, the Matthias Ekholm trade was great, but the free agent signings were god awful, and the whole thing of like, oh, we can pick and choose which years we can, be contenders. This is not our year, and when you got two of the best players on the planet, and obviously trading for Athanasiou and Mike Green, that's like totally different circumstances.
I was gonna say, yeah, for every Ekholm, there's an Athanasiou. Like,
Mhm.
it's just he's had more misses than hits, man. And like, think
Yeah.
about it. They let Clem Costin and Kyler Yamamoto go as for like who were pretty like I get Yamamoto to an extent. Like, I think it was his time was done in Edmonton.
Yeah, I think
but
you
Clem
needed a
Costin
fresh
should have
start.
stuck
Yeah.
around. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of questionable decisions, and they got a lot of money tied up, and a lot of guys who should not have money tied up in. Like, yep, Cody Ceci still playing in the top 4 in 2023, and no one sees a problem with it. Whatever, dude. And it doesn't help that Bouchard is like, yeah, I'm not gonna say he's taking a step back, but he's not taking that leap that everyone expected him to take this year. And like, maybe he's
inconsistent.
I was gonna say maybe he's a little pissed about the contract negotiations this offseason because they couldn't pay him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good, dude. And like, you got to remember, Draisaitl's up for an extension this summer. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has 2 years left. McDavid has 3 years left.
Dude, they got to start winning because like you're telling me Draisaitl's going to go into the offseason sour and sign an extension after they miss the playoffs?
No,
I don't know about that. Like, it's easier said with like the Leafs where they had Matthews and they just came off a second round exit. Like, yeah, I understand him saying in Toronto, but if the Oilers are finishing bottom 10, let's say, because I don't think they're going to finish second last. If they do, like, that means McDavid's on LTIR and they punted the season. But I just don't see that happening. But like, they're getting whooped by their divisional opponents. That's not a good thing. Like, yeah, they beat the Kraken, but like, lost to the Sharks.
Whoop-de friggin' do, yeah.
Yeah, lost to the Sharks. They've lost 3 games to the Canucks this year. Like, it's not good, dude. It's not good. And I honestly don't know what you do to fix it. Because like, where does it, like, if you want to make a trade, who has value on this team that you could trade?
Oh no.
I don't know either. Like, I'm sitting because like they're always sitting here like, oh well, they're playing Dylan Holloway in the top 6, who I liked when he came out in the drafts, but he has not developed at all the last 3
That's
4
another
years.
thing they haven't really hit on their like. There's a bunch of potential. Like
Broberg.
one day they could be good NHL players, but it just seems like again it's kind of the same thing as Bouchard to a lesser extent, where they show flashes of skill but just not consistent enough.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You got to if you're Ken Holland, you got the season to figure this out, in my opinion, and you better find someone else who's just as desperate as you. And it's unfortunate for you because the other team that's just as desperate as you is your division rival. So they're not making a move with you.
Probably not. No.
But
Although
like,
everyone,
oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna say like, although when the Flames made that call for Wolf and they were like, oh, Markstrom is not playing, like he's not gonna be a backup. Everyone's like, huh? Maybe Markstrom does go to Edmonton after all, because that was a thing back in I think in 2020.
I remember that they didn't want to pay Markstrom, they didn't want to pay Kemper, or they tried to trade for Kemper and didn't
Well,
want to
that's
give
what I
up.
mean. So many of we try to do this, we try to do that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
And yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda, and now you're wasting the primes of the two best players in hockey. I was
Two best
listening
players
to
that Orc's seen in 40 years.
And I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast before this, and Steve was like, yeah, it's crazy how, like, when it comes to contract negotiations, that it takes forever to get this done. But, like, the moment you need a new head coach, like, done right away. Like, there's no way that they won that game on Saturday against the Kraken or whatever it was. And then the next morning, we're like, yeah, he's done now, but oh hey, we got this guy, let me give him a call and it'll be done right away. No, like I feel that was probably like close to a week in planning, I would think. It's kind of like the worst example we saw of it last year was Bruce Boudreau in Vancouver, when everyone knew openly that remember that like it's worked out. Rick Talk has been fine, but like there's been it could have handled that a lot better. But like
nasty exit to say the least.
Yeah, we knew like for a couple of weeks, even Bruce Boudreau himself, like he's gonna be gone. Like, and Jay Woodcroft, same kind of thing. Maybe not outward as public, but like there had to like the management had to have known, like, oh yeah, we got this guy. We're gonna keep Jay Woodcroft for maybe a few more days, and then we'll can him, and then bring this guy in. Like, there's no way, like after the win against the Kraken, they're like, yeah, he's gone now. Like it might have been after the Sharks game.
I think I saw a couple people say this. They just didn't want to fire him on the road trip. Like just let him have his last couple games. But like,
yeah, and on a high note, beating the Seattle Kraken, like, fuck.
I don't know, man. Even the coaches knew they were getting fired. Like, it's just, it's not a good situation to be in, honestly.
Bad vibes, definitely.
And if anything, not trying to really bring it back to the Hawks, but like, Davidson needs to take notes on like everything that's happened with McDavid and Eichel since that, because that's two sides of the spectrum of what can happen with a generational player or like a very good player like that. And you need to take steps in the direction to make sure that you don't have these issues that have plagued the Oilers for over 6 years. Like this has been a problem since 2017 when McDavid won his first Hart Trophy, that there was no depth scoring behind him. And then Draisaitl finally started picking up his slack, and then it was like, oh, Draisaitl's really good now, but now they have no one behind him. At some point, you got to figure it out, and I hope the Hawks don't go through this, what the Oilers have done, because I feel like it's the definition of insanity. They're like trying to put the square peg in the round hole every fucking year, and it's not working. Like, how many times do you have to ice fucking Derek Ryan and Matthias Janmark until you realize that, oh, wait, maybe these guys aren't going to help us win a Stanley Cup because they aren't quality bottom six forwards. Like, look at Vegas, man. Vegas can roll 4 lines and play their 4th line 12 minutes a night. That's how deep they are. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Figure it the fuck out, Ken Holland. You're embarrassing.
I don't think he should be allowed to figure the fuck out. Like, he should be fired. Like,
I know.
There's no way you should be able to fire 2 head coaches. Like, usually general managers, when they fire their one head coach, it's like the experiment thing in Family Guy. Everyone gets one. It's usually what it is. It's almost never that a GM is allowed to, one, like, fire a head coach a second time. And a lot of the GMs, like, if you can't clean up, you're almost never allowed to clean up the mess you make unless you're Stan Bowman and all that. But yeah, Jeff Jackson, he's the CEO. I think he's the president of Hockey Op. Like, he's got to step in and just be like, Ken Holland, like 1 year left. Like, you got to step up and be like, no, we need to get a fresh set of eyes on, because there are a lot of horrible contracts on that team, but maybe a new fresh set of eyes will be like, we'll actually look at it and be like, what the hell? We're paying Jack Campbell $3 million or $5 million for the next 3 years. Like, maybe we can make just to try something new. Like, I
was gonna say, we know contracts can get moved. We saw him move the Lucic contract. Like,
yeah,
this can be done. You just need to figure it the F out before
and
your star
Ken
players.
Holland is the guy too.
Yeah, until your star players decide, hey, maybe I want to peace out and go somewhere else where, I don't have to get scorned for not having depth scoring or defense or a goalie or literally anything that could help us win. Not great, Bob.
You want to hear Connor McDavid talking about Jay Woodcroft getting fired?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I got the video right here. It's 40 seconds long. We'll play it now.
Did the message get lost because he had you guys going? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I don't think the room. He never lost the room. Never lost the room. I didn't think. Never lost the room. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So you say it was a surprise. So obviously players weren't given a heads up that this might happen. Like, you woke up yesterday and heard the news type thing.
I woke up to a text, like probably a lot of you guys did as well. I know the narrative out there, obviously, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah.
I don't know. That guy sounds pretty happy to me. I think it's a great thing you brought in his coach from Erie, like
that he hasn't seen in 8 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like McDavid's kind of always been like that. He's very monotone, almost robotic, but like even then I feel like this last year we've been getting more like brutal honesty out of him, even though if he's not like super animated, you're hearing a lot more like truth and not hockey cliches. Like that just sounds like a guy who was super pissed off. And we remember from a couple of years ago, Leon Draisaitl saying what Jim Matheson asking him, why are you getting so pissy? Like we've seen Leon Draisaitl get mad. Yeah, why so pissy? And Connor McDavid, like I feel after last year's playoff loss, that just broke him, because I remember after that he was so pissed, and it's continued into this year, and the Oilers suck.
Yeah, it has to hurt when you're just putting out best offensive seasons we've seen in 30 years, and your GM just says, I think our team's fine. We're not going to do anything to put us over the top.
Yeah,
like has to be so effing frustrating. I don't even understand. And like they're not in the conversation to go get anyone. There's no rumor that they're on the phones trying to improve the team. No. Their answer was fire the coach.
Jordan Binnington, yeah. Which is always the easiest thing to do.
Binnington versus Mark Spector would be fucking all-timer. All-timer.
I need this to happen.
Binnington versus NHL by Maddie. Like, just give it to me. Why so pissy, Benner? Why you trying to start fights?
Oh my god. That's exactly what the Oilers would need, is more attention, spotlight attention.
I know, right?
Like that, more antics. What the hell do you even do? Like Warren Fogle when we move out 2.75 just to like get rid of a guy. And Matthias Janmark 1 year at $1 million. I just look at that. Forwards aren't even bad. Like Ryan H. Hopkins, yeah, whatever. But like Evander Kane, it's not a horrible contract. Zach Hyman, yeah. But like that defense, man. Darnell Nurse, you signed that contract not only after having a career year, but having a career year in 56 games. And that was the moment where you decided, let's give this guy over $9 million, albeit Seth Jones really set the market for that. So, but like Cody Ceci, I don't even know what the hell you do.
Yeah.
And if Ken Holland is the like a lot of the times these new coaches do get hired and they get that jolt of energy that's kind of been lacking, kind of like okay, let's go now, like let's go out there, let's put in some more effort and win some games, which could very well happen, especially with the Oilers. But I just feel like they gotta get rid of Holland as well.
Yeah, they got to get rid of Holland, and there has to be a trade made. Like there just has to be. Like you got to get a new piece in there. Try to stir the pot, whether that's on the back end, whether that's in net, whether that's even on the forward core. They got to do something.
Yeah, it genuinely sucks that two of the best hockey players we've seen in a very long time just being wasted because of incompetent management. But no, it's the coach's fault.
Yeah, coach's fault. Got to can him. Best winning percentage of all time in the franchise. Got to can him. Got to can him. No, whatever. Let's talk about another team. I'm done.
Yeah, it's kind of getting depressing now. I don't know what else to say. It's just
done talking about that tire fire.
Let's talk about a team that I think isn't getting enough due for how well they're doing so far, and that is the New York Rangers. Not only are they doing well, but their first overall pick is finally showing glimpses of why he got drafted first overall.
Jacob Trouba.
Noted first overall pick, Jacob Trouba. Hell, in 2012, he might have been in, like, he unironically might have been in the running for first overall.
He'd be top 10 in that draft, or top 5 probably.
Oh, he was. I'm pretty sure he did go top 10, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Lafreniere. Like I'm done trolling. Lafreniere has been fucking incredible.
11 points, 14 games. It's just well, they got a new head coach now. It's Laviolette. I can't even say his name. Laviolette is their new head coach, right? Like it's not Gerard Gallant anymore.
Also helps when you're playing with Artemi Panarin. Went from Breadman to Baldman, and now he's elite again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he shaved it. Yeah, he's in his Walter White arc. He shaved his head, and now he's cooking.
Oh my God. He really is though, and that power play is the best power play in the league right now. They're getting depth scoring from all facets, and that's with guys even having slow starts like Kakko and all that, and Heedle's out, and I think Trocheck's had a great start to the year as well. Adam Fox being out is tough. Shesterkin being out is tough. But like you said earlier, Quick's got fucking 930. So
yeah,
back in 2012 all over again, guys. The Rangers are.
You'd think Henrik Lundqvist is back there.
No, but Pierce, I had to listen to Capitals fans tell me that Laviolette's a bad coach. It's like, whatever, dude. Like,
but maybe your team wasn't that great.
Yeah, maybe the players weren't that good. I don't know, but
issue.
Seems like he's the right voice in the room at the moment for the Rangers, and they look like the team that everyone kind of has anticipated them to be for the last couple of years. And they took a minor step back last year, I'd say, but it seems like they're back to that team they were 2 years ago.
I was kind of disappointed how things went with them last year because, like, I remember saying, I'm like, did the Rangers maybe like was 2022 their opportunity to like win the cup or at least make it to the cup final? I don't know if they're playing like this. Like we say this, if a team's got a good goal, you got a good number one defenseman, which they do with Adam Fox, and you got a good forward core. Like Mika Zibanejad, I don't put him like up with like the best of the best. That's a solid guy who can score 40 plus goals. You got Panarin, and now
Kreider scoring at like a 40 goal pace again, which helps.
If you get like a couple of your young guys going, which you already have in Lafreniere, and if you get one of Kakko or Cheadle going, like you got a good thing.
Cooley's been pretty good for them too. Their Will Cooley, I think, is his name.
I was gonna say like Logan Cooley got traded to the Rangers.
I know. I thought his name was like Coyle or something, but then I heard
I know exactly
it's
who you're
Cooley.
talking about. Yeah,
but yeah, I keep seeing him pop up on the stat sheet, so that's more depth scoring for him. And
they have the best Cooley in the NHL,
honestly. And they just won with Louis Domingue, for God's sake. Like they're just making it happen. Like there's a couple teams right now that have just started off white hot and have kind of stayed that way. It's like them, Boston, Vegas, LA, Vancouver slowly starting to dip a little, but that's whatever. But like, there's like 4 or 5 teams that have really solidified themselves at the top right now. And it's interesting to see. And usually it's a strong forward core, it's a strong structure. Because like you said, Boston and Vegas are extremely structured teams, and
Yeah.
LA is pretty structured with McClellan, who is now the highest paid coach in the league, by the way, which I
Oh
thought was
my god, I
hilarious.
saw that Jeff Passan tweet, and it's just like, because the Cubs hired Craig Counsell, and he got $8 million a year, which is fucking awesome. Like, good for him.
Mhm.
I'm all for like not only just players, but like managers and coaches just being paid however much they could get paid. But
Yeah.
like it was like Belichick, he's getting paid like, I don't know if it was 20 million, but he's getting paid at least over $10 million a year. I forgot the other sports, and then underneath it, there was like college football, I think, and college
Oh,
basketball.
college
and
football, they
underneath-
make a shit ton. Yeah.
yeah, they make 10 million plus too, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah. Well,
crazy.
like, let's put it this way. Texas A&M just fired their head coach, Jimbo Fisher, and they're going to pay him $76 million to not coach their football team. So
Oh man.
that's how much FU money they have in college football. So, like, when they get mad about the players making money, I don't even want to fucking hear it. Like, you're
Oh,
paying.
yeah, I know. I was gonna say like the players get fucking nothing, and you're complaining about that. Well, whatever. That's a whole other thing.
They're fucking babies. Whatever. But yeah.
But yeah,
like,
seeing Todd McClellan in there is so funny.
Mhm. But like, these teams are just so structurally sound, and I feel like it just shows because, like, especially with like we've seen with the Rangers and kind of what we're seeing with LA, you could put anyone in the net, and they're gonna play a good enough defense around him to where the shots are gonna be from the outside. I mean, also one person I forgot to mention on the Rangers is Eric Gustafson playing pretty.
That's
fucking,
right. All aboard the Gus Bussy. Let's go.
playing pretty good in the Rangers. Gotta love it, man. If only the Leafs had this.
I was good. I was just gonna say that. Well, at least they didn't sign another Swedish defenseman that sucks defensively. But at least he put up points, right? Oh wait, yeah.
Oh, I wish Rose was here. See her reaction to that. But
in time we will.
and then along with the Rangers, I know we wanted to bring it up, like the Panthers, for what they're
Yeah, I
doing.
kind of wanted to tie. Yeah, I kind of wanted to tie
Mhm.
that Panthers game. Be like, yeah, you know what? The Florida Panthers aren't doing so bad. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no. If you want to go into it first, I'll.
sure. I feel you kind of bring that up with like NHL teams just kind of throwing goalies in net. I feel that's going to be the thing now. I feel we're going to see a lot more goaltending tandems. Like goalies playing 60, like we're never going to see a goalie play 70 games again, probably 60, 65 maybe, but highly unlikely. But like we're not seeing Marty Brodeur playing like 70, 75 games anymore. That's far gone. But like if you have a workhorse goalie, if you have a Vasilevsky and like all these guys that have been consistently been good, yeah, you could probably play them 60 games. But then I remember that 1 year Vasilevsky was like, yeah, I just got tired. Like I wasn't great. I feel that's gone. But if you don't have an elite goalie, you're going platoon system. You're going what Vegas did with Aiden Hill, Logan Thompson, the various other goalies they use. You're going with what Boston has done with Swayman and Allmark. Now, granted, those are two like elite goalies. They're not just like middle of the road guys. But yeah, if you don't have an elite goalie, like you just gotta get 2 decent goalies and hope they make the save and get a good defensive structure in front of them.
100%. And speaking of defensive structure, I feel like that's actually a really good segue in the Panthers, because the way Paul Maurice has that team playing right now, it doesn't matter who's in the back end right now, because Oliver Ekman Larson has seemed to fit in extremely well with this team. He has 9 points.
Good
so
for
far
him,
this
man.
season.
Like I feel that was a good thing for both teams because like Vancouver's doing well, but now OEL still gets that money from Vancouver. You're playing in Florida with a team that could be in the cards for another deep playoff run.
Oh yeah, Sam Reinhart's having a great year and a contract year, which
I was
gonna
say, is he a free agent at the end of the year? That would be a nice get for the Blackhawks. Like in free agency, maybe, but I don't know. I like William Nylander better.
Yeah,
but not
I'll
a bad
take any
consolation
skill forward.
prize. Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's impressive with the Panthers right now is like, yeah, they're doing it without Ekblad and Montour, but like I think Kachuk and Verhaeghe had like 3 goals going into this week combined, or like I think it was 4 combined going into this week, and then they started picking it up a little. But like they're not getting the scoring from their top guys right now. Besides Reinhart and Barkov have started the season extremely well, but it's coming from the depth right now, and they're getting their back ends playing extremely well. I think Nico Mikkola has actually played very well for them. Kulikov he's obviously had experience in Florida. He's playing just fine.
Almost killed Connor Bedard. No,
I'm gonna tussle you. I'm gonna ruffle your feathers.
I'm sorry. Like I was like laughing at the middle because I'm just trying to go look for points and see what Panthers are up there, and I just see it's the meme. It's like bald Artemi Panarin can't hurt you, and then I like look up second players Artemi Panarin 24 points. Bald Artemi Panarin.
Dude, and they also had Sam Bennett was out until like last game, so like they're doing it with a lot of injuries. They're getting scoring from all over the place. It seems like all the free agency moves they made have been pretty decent. Evan Rodriguez is almost point a game with them, which I think is hilarious. Everyone was like, "Oh, why'd they sign Evan Rodriguez? Why didn't they just keep Duclair?" Well, Rodriguez looks pretty good right now, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, at the point
say-
at that like point in time when they did that, I'd be like, yeah, that's a fair question, but now it's working for them, so
can't knock it. And
no.
they're honestly not even getting good goaltending, and they're doing it, which I think is impressive because, like, Stolars and Bobrovsky have both been suspect at times. Like, granted, Knight is working to get back to NHL form in the AHL right now, but it'll be interesting to see what they do because they're treading water very well right now. Considering the team a little farther north and the Lightning is slowly starting to slip a little bit. It's definitely two sides of how you hold up with your star players are out. So kudos to them for sure.
Yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky 268 goals against averaging a 905. I don't know if this is a year where he's supposed to have a Vezina year, or if this is his year where he's supposed to stink. So last year,
figure it out.
Yeah. So last year he was a 901 and then a 913. So yeah, maybe he's due for some positive regression to be like a 915. Or maybe now he's not even doing it season by season. He's just doing it like in the regular season. He sucks in the playoffs. He's good, like last year.
Yeah. Goes on the Pekka Rinne run in the playoffs.
Yeah. But yeah, Matthew Tkachuk. Oh no, he's having an off year. 15 points in 14 games, 3 goals. Like, just think when he starts putting the puck in the net. Oh, mama.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. That's why they paid him all that money.
Yeah, and like, yeah. Right, Sam Reinhart is having as good a year as you can for a player of that caliber, and going into free agency is going to make some good shmoney. Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk, 15 points. Alexander Barkov, 14 points. Evan Rodriguez, 13 points. Carter Verhaeghe, 10 points. Yeah, like for Ekman Larson is tied for fourth most goals with 4, which is so funny.
Dude, the minute eater on this team is Gustav Forsling.
Let's go.
Averaging 24 minutes a game. Oh, yeah, averaging 23. How about that?
And then Nico Mikkola has 1958.
Yeah, so those free agency signings that got some questions from around the league from Florida
It's
doing
paying off
pretty
so far.
damn good right now.
Speaking of free agency signings, I think I put this in the group chat yesterday, but I think a certain number 88 would fit in great on this team. It makes too much sense.
He would be fun to watch with Tkachuk. I'm not gonna knock that. Honestly, the 2 spots he's rumored to right now be pretty fun to watch. Like,
But
if he ends up going to
Sabres.
Yeah, if he ends up going to Buffalo, I know they don't want to see it, but like I feel like if you put Tuck, Tage, and Kane on the ice, good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Or like put him with Middlestat, like good things are going to happen. You didn't like in Florida, like come on, you're going to throw him with Tkachuk and Reinhardt or something, or throw him with Bennett. Like that's like I could see a lot of matches, like you said, and he would help their power play. He'd do a bunch. Like I don't know.
Make Evan Rodriguez like a 60-point setter.
My whole thing is just if he wants more than 1 year, that's going to be an issue because I need to see if he can play.
Yeah, if Florida, it's a 1-year contract, but also you are playing in Florida, no taxes. You've made so much money in your career. You're there
made over 100
strictly to win a cup. Yeah, you're strictly there to win a Stanley Cup. Which Florida can
another
really
one.
do. Yeah, just number 4. Catch up to Chris Kunitz.
Oh my god.
And he doesn't have an Olympic gold medal either, so he's still behind in both fronts.
Also, shout out Jack Johnson for getting a goal a couple nights ago.
Oh hell yeah, let's go. He's on Colorado, right?
They
You
were
know what I
losing 8
forgot?
when they scored, but that's not the point.
Speaking of players with the last name Johnson, I forgot Eric Johnson was on the Sabres. That was a thing that happened.
They signed him and Connor Clifton. And
Clifton, for whatever reason, I knew that, but Eric Johnson, I'm like, I saw, because I was playing NHL 24 last night, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of at a point now where this player went here, and then I just saw Eric Johnson on Buffalo, and I froze. I had like a
jump scare.
Yeah, but Eric Johnson on Buffalo can't hurt you.
Eric Johnson on Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, this is probably like the first year where I'm just like out of whack with hockey. Like I've been for so much of my life, I've been on. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy went to this team by this way. But this year, I'm just like, feels like I've gotten out of hibernation. I'm like,
because you've been going through the trials and errors of Blue Jays baseball.
Which I'm honestly
trials
glad.
and tribulations. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I do. It's so funny because like I met a few new mutuals on Twitter, and kind of going back to Connor Bedard and how like he's had an effect not just like as a Chicago Blackhawk, but like on the sport of hockey and beyond that. Like I've seen a bunch of like Blue Jays fans be like, "Oh wow, this Connor Bedard kid is pretty good. I might start watching hockey now," because their main sport is baseball. Like they don't really pay much attention to hockey, so it's like
grow this sport.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, those were the two teams I wanted to talk about, was the Panthers and the Rangers, because they just feel like we've talked about Boston, Vegas aplenty, and we talked a bit about Vancouver, but I feel like Panthers and Rangers, we needed to, especially the Rangers, because like I didn't know they were doing that well, and I didn't know that Lafreniere was doing that well, and especially in a division where I think they were overshadowed by Carolina and New Jersey a lot. Good for them.
Yeah, take advantage when other teams are having injuries or struggles right now. And that's like, what do we always say? Start strong, because
stockpile those early wins.
It's easy to have the wins and like lose a couple games later on than lose a bunch early on and not have a lot of losses to give later on. Like it's a good start for them.
There's always going to be like a mid-season malaise. Like it's always good to get those
That's a
early
vocab word.
I love saying malaise. Almost sounds like I'm saying milady.
Milady. Look at Elias Pettersson. So inspirational, bro. 25.
Isn't he in a contract year too?
Yep.
Dear God.
Kyle Davidson, you're going to give him the bag. I can't wait. Can you imagine Pettersson slinging pucks to Bedard on the power play?
We always talk the great teams, like the main person, like there's always a dynamic duo up front. Blackhawks obviously is always Taves Kane, Penguins Malkin Crosby, Capitals Backstrom, Ovechkin, like there's
Matthews and Ryan Reeves
and Magic Mitch Marner. No, David Kemp.
No. It's Tyler
Bertuzzi.
It's Tyler Bertuzzi. It's Callie Yarncroke, the
Maybe
Swiss
Vegas.
Army knife for Sheldon Keefe.
Maybe Vegas is like an example of a team that really didn't have like a dynamic duo, but like if
and the Blues didn't really either.
Yeah. The Blues, what a fucking
Blues are an enigma.
Run. Yeah, that's like one of the rare like weird
Lightning is Kucherov and Point.
Yeah.
Like, Kucherov and Point.
But like, if you can get Bedard and Pettersson, like you're set. You're set.
Bedard, Nylander, like Bedard, Demidov, Bedard, Celebrini, like someone.
Because like I still think Frank Nazar and Oliver Moore and all these guys are gonna be great, but you need like another legitimate.
They're gonna be great second liners.
Yeah. Like Nazar, you could probably put on the first line with Bedard, but like. Ideally, like
Pillardis.
Pillardis, who's doing amazing in the OHL, by the way. Like, love to see. I'm pretty sure he's paced on like 50 goals.
Frank Pillardis.
Like Pillardis.
No, Lardis is like actually lighting it up like crazy right now, and I love it. But yeah, they need one more big forward at least. Mm-hmm. And like I get all the people that are like, oh, we could take a defenseman this draft, and it's like, dude, if one of those good forwards is sitting there, you take them. Like,
yeah. So yeah, Nick Lardis.
Or take the dude that's named McQueen next year because he sounds cool.
So 12 goals in 17 games for Nick Lardis. That's on pace for 48 goals in 68 OHL games. Yeah, Chad, is that good?
And he doesn't pass the puck. He's like an e-show player. I love it.
He is Brandon Peary. Don't want that on my team.
He didn't make it in the NHL. So you're telling me that we drafted a Rockford Ice Hogs legend. God. Oh man. Oh yeah, Zadorov wants to trade. That happened.
Yeah, doesn't he do? Yeah, he doesn't. Calgary, man. Yeah, like we talked about the Oilers, Calgary. Good golly, they're really not better anything. But like with the Flames, everything is telling them to sell and get like they can trade guys and get good assets back. Whereas the Oilers are kind of stuck with what they are right now.
Oh, the Flames are in perfect position to sell off like the Sens did a couple
Mhm.
years ago, and they should. And this should be the first piece to do it because it sounds like he has a market, and you can get a pretty hefty return for him from the sounds of it. Like
Mhm.
at least a second. That's nothing. That's not nothing. Like literally, like the last 5 trades that involve a defenseman of that kind of caliber can do that. But like also, if he has a market and he extends, who's to say he may not fetch a first?
Mhm.
Because some team's so desperate for a big, physical, hulking defenseman.
Maple Leafs, Brad Tree Living.
I know, or the Canucks. I want him to go. I want him to go to Boston. He'd fit like a glove.
Zadorov and McAvoy would be the most annoying, nasty pairing to play against. They would kill you.
And that's why they're gonna do it. Or like
They could do it
Tampa.
just because they can. Not that they even need Zadorov, but they can. They can just.
as a luxury piece.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's gonna fetch a decent return.
Oh yeah. There'll be.
And-
That'll be some sucker that pays for a second round pick for him.
I want to know who's gonna get desperate and do it though. Like if the Leafs lose 2 games in the fucking Sweden series, they're gonna do it. Because they're not making a move till after that. But it's right around the time. It's Bowman always used to make a move.
No, I was gonna say like if we lose these 2 games across the ocean, we can't come back to North America without a new player. So
We have to get
that's
this
what will
big
happen.
Russian defenseman, who apparently is the
Mhm.
best defenseman on Calgary that plays third pairing minutes.
Yeah, he'd fit great with Gustafson. Oh wait, Gustafson's in the range. Can you imagine Zadorov and Gustafson?
Oh, Zadorov, William Lagesson, gonna smooth mountains in Toronto, feed
Zadorov
families.
Zadorov and Klingberg, what would have been the greatest pairing in like 2015? Still was promise and potential.
Like Brad Living made some moves where I'm like, I got Domi and Bertuzzi, I got Gregor, I got all that stuff. What was his play with Klingberg? I still don't
No.
understand. This
You
team needed
could've-
defensive defensemen.
Unironically, you could have just signed Gustafson for like league man and got
Literally.
the same production. Like
Mhm.
it's not even the problem that he's playing how he's playing. It's that they paid him $4 million and change to play like that. Like
Or just keep Luke Shen. Like I don't know, man.
yeah,
They-
either or. Like it's again, we've said this before. When you're a team that's cap strapped like that every year, even though it's only $1 million, we can bury that. But yeah, that $1 million instead of putting to Ryan Reeves, you could have kept Sam Lafferty, who's doing fine in Vancouver. You could have re-signed Noah Chari. Like you could have kept one of those guys from last year that seemed to fit in all right, or find like another Noah Gregor instead of getting a guy who is only good at being like, oh, if I were on the ice, I would have fought the IG. I wonder why you're not on the ice because you suck.
You can't play the sport.
No, you can't keep up with it.
Literally, bro. The game is past you.
It's passed him by. Yeah.
God. Like, look at all these other teams. They have that snarl. It's just from their good players. Like
Mhm.
they've all learned how to do it. It's whatever, man. Like they're never gonna
I-
learn how to do it.
Yeah,
that's,
I feel
that's their problem.
yeah. All the great teams, like they as a team, are not fun to play against. The
Dude,
Maple
Taves and
Leafs thing-
Keith used to beat the shit out of people. Like
Mhm.
so did
I
Seabrook.
can't. Yeah, I don't think Marion Hossa would be a fun time trying to defend in the corner, and if you get in his face, like I don't think he'd be a fun time.
Nope.
Don't think so.
Like we all know if you pissed off Kane, he'd slash you on the fucking leg or the wrist really hard. So like
Yeah.
he wasn't gonna take that shit lightly usually.
Like I don't think Patrick Sharp was a fun time either. Like
Mm-mm. Like, and then like you look at the Penguins, like they always had guys who, like, yeah, they did fight, but they put up points. Like Dupuis and Kunitz, I think, are the perfect
Mhm.
examples of that.
And I think people know, but Malkin, when you get him mad, he is mad. It's all
He'll
it's
kill
same
you.
same with him and Kucherov. It's red mist for them. They will go
Mhm.
psycho and try to murder you.
Dude, honestly, and the Kings have that. They had that with Doughty. McKinnon has that in Colorado, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Stone and Jack Eichel. Well, I don't know if Jack Eichel's out. Mark Stone definitely fucking has it. He loves beating up teenagers.
Yeah.
His favorite thing.
Most of the Vegas team has that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Even Marchessault is you get him mad. He seems like a guy who he's like Scrappy Doo. Kind of.
Lightning got a bunch of fucking pricks on their team.
Their
That's
whole
just how it
line was
works.
their one line of Coleman, Gaudreau, and who the fuck is the other one? Coleman, Gaudreau, and
Gord.
Yeah, I'm like, why the hell am I having
Yeah.
such a hard time? Probably the best player on that line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, but they got to figure it out, because if they don't, they're just not going to win. Hell, look at Florida, for God's sake. Florida didn't win, but they are fucking annoying as shit to play against. And they will back it up every time. So, I don't know.
I would say even the Blackhawks are doing a better job of that than what the Leafs are now.
Yeah. The fact that the Leafs fans are clamoring for what Nick Foligno did on Sunday is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's because it's fine. The Hawks suck. I don't care if he takes an instigator. And they killed that penalty, which I think is the funniest part. They killed
Their
a 4-minute power
kill
play.
has been good. So even if they do that, you're like, okay, I would take our chance on the penalty killer. Penalty kill is good.
Bet.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They just I don't know how it's this hard to get Snarl in the lineup. And apparently Bertuzzi's a fake tough guy. Domi does it, okay? Domi's finally started the duo we saw him do with the Hawks, where it's oh, you hit the star player, I'm gonna fight you even though I don't need to fight you. We saw him do that for Kane 5 times last year.
Yeah.
Freaking it's coming slowly, but they need more. Shocker, another Canadian team needs more out of their players.
Yeah,
Couldn't be the Canadians.
Most of the Canadian teams have that problem, except for the Vancouver Canucks, and yeah, that's probably about it.
They're just slowly putting it together, I think.
The Sens, did you say?
Yeah, I think the Sens are slowly starting to put it together.
I honestly haven't. I'll take your word for it.
Okay,
they're just that. Damn that. They're 6-7-0. They're the worst team. Everyone else is at Bettman 500. Sabres are 7-7-1. Freaking Habs are 7-6-2. Lightning are 6-5-4. Leafs 8-5-2. Same with the Red Wings. Panthers 9-4. And it's so stupid that the Bruins are doing better than what they were last year.
Well, wait, the Bruins or the Panthers?
The Bruins.
Okay, I thought you said the Panthers. I was like, yeah, no, the Bruins are it's still shocking. We all knew they still have the structure and whatnot, but
they were never going to bottom out or. Yeah.
No.
It's
people forgot that, because I just remember seeing it and this is how you know it's a thing, because the fantasy apps were oh, Marchand's not going to be someone worth drafting this year. What? This guy put up 90, 100 points every fucking year when he's healthy. And then when he's not healthy, he's still point a game. He's just not playing 82 games a year. They still have elite wingers. They're getting
the guy they paid $11 million to last year as point per game and has 10 goals in 14 games.
Pretty good. Pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
and then they're getting the most out of fucking Shattenkirk and Van Riemsdyk, which I think is hilarious.
That's so funny.
The best. It's the fucking best, dude. Boston is, you can't copy Boston. And what's great is they're gonna go get another center. They'll get Lindholm or something.
They're getting Elias. That's a match made in heaven right there.
Someone said Draisaitl to Boston. I was just what do they send back to get that to work?
I don't know if the Bruins, but fuck, if Draisaitl requests a trade and says I want to go to Boston, then
Draisaitl for Olmark.
That was a thing.
Oh my god. Jeremy Swayman in Edmonton would be interesting though.
That would be a very good shit. But then I saw Elliot Freeman be like, yeah, they want to extend him come July or January 1st because he signed a 1-year contract and they wouldn't be eligible to sign him till then, but they want to get that done right away.
Oh, they have to. He would arguably be the front runner for the Vezina right now.
Yeah.
We had that conversation.
Yeah, it's crazy that the Bruins are now they just have a culture of winning And it doesn't matter that Bergeron or Krejci's gone. Get Matthew Poitras from the OHL. I don't even think he's 20. Playing
19.
like for top 6 center minutes. Like Pavel Zacha's finally like Charlie Coyle's been doing good too. And like all their wingers are good. Like of course Pasternak, Marchand. Their defense is as solid as any in the NHL. And then you have 2 elite goalies. So it would be so funny if like after winning 65 games last year and blowing a 3-1 lead in the first round, that this is the year after Bergeron and Krejci leave for them to go on like a really deep playoff run. And they could do it, man. If they get, especially if they get another center in there, like Lindholm just makes too much sense, or anyone else on the out market. I could
Yeah,
see it.
well, I think the biggest thing is that they have Ian Mitchell as a +3. So
That's right, Ian Mitchell.
and he's got 2.
What about
Take
Alec
that,
Regula? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
He's
Liberals?
in fucking Providence.
Providence?
Yeah, that's their AHL team. It like took me a second, but yeah, Boston's fine. And the fact that they have played their goalies almost a minute to the same amount of time this year is impressive.
I like the Blackhawks, except like because they've been doing one game and Raz gets 1 game and then Soderblom gets 1 game, but not quite as good. So
Yeah, just not 940.
yeah, not Vezina.
Darn, man.
Yeah. Not yet.
Really thought we were gonna get it this time. Oh well. Guess we'll put Jackson Stauber in that. Oh wait,
Yeah,
you're
do the
telling me
trick.
he beat the Leafs? Lol. And the Blues? Lol.
I don't remember I remember the Blues because that was his first. I don't remember the Leafs one.
I remember the Leafs because I was at the fucking game. That was
it
the game
in
where King got the hat trick.
That's right. Oh my god. it's all
And I
coming
kept
back to
looking
me
and I'm
now.
like, all right, Austin Matthews is gonna solve this fucking AHL goalie eventually so I could see this guy score. And he stopped like 3 Matthews one-timers. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, Stauber, I see you. Like then that's why he's a medium starter in NHL 24.
He is. And that happened in this year. No, it did not. That's crazy.
No, it was last year. Soderblom beat him this year. And everyone was like, of course the guy who has an 870 beat us.
No, I meant like this calendar year. Like this happened.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
2023.
that happened in February, bro. That was 9 months ago.
Time is just it moves so fast, but again, it moves so slow. It's the ultimate illusion. Anyways. What's
It's a flat
you-
circle, just like that.
It really is. Do you have anything else to add around the NHL? Or what say you we get into some Reddit stories?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about the NHL. Oh, shout out to the rookie class, bro. Rookie class been fucking killing it.
Oh yeah, I wanted to bring
Like-
that. Yeah.
Outside of Bedard, like Cooley, Carlson, and Fantilli, and Minchikov.
Carlson got a hat trick, yeah.
Yeah, fucking nuts. Fantilli went bar down at the Garden last night. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Minchikov is playing 20 plus minutes a night and has 10 plus points as a defenseman at
Mhm.
20. Impressive stuff. And then Cooley's fucking just lighting it up. I think he's got 11 points or something. And
Yeah.
3 assists game over the weekend. How do
only
you do?
1 goal though. Can't score.
He
Does
can't
better.
score at the NHL level. Power play merchant, bottom 6 merchant, Michael Carcone merchant.
Did he get a hat trick against the Hawks?
Yes, he
That was
did.
good,
All
right?
right. We
Yeah.
don't need to get it. God, that game's-
all that.
that's the worst game of the year by far.
Oh,
Like it's,
not even close.
it's the only
all that
bad
to
Blackhawk
say-
game this year.
I was gonna say all that to say that Leaf should have kept him, so we can turn that around to that.
Fucking Spence's favorite player, Michael Carcone.
Wasn't it Nick Patan? I thought
He likes all those bums. Who cares?
he likes all these like niche age.
Where's fucking Jeremy Bracco when you need him? He was going to be the savior.
we need
Bracco Nielsen in a second.
That was
Brown
Igor
Bracco Nielsen
Korshkov.
in a second for Carlson.
Forgetting Renette Valiev. Like we can just go through all the niche Leafs prospects over the years.
Okay, let's get the credits.
Stuart Percy. Yeah. Tyler Biggs.
Tim Erickson,
Yeah.
Jeremy Morin.
Blackhawks legend Tim
Happy
Erickson.
Leaf
yes.
Erickson Day.
So yeah, Leo Carlson in the 10 games he's played, 6 goals, 2 assists. Shout out to Marco Rossi, 8 points in 15 games. And yeah, it's pretty good class.
Love how the Pat Verbeek thing of like, oh, we're gonna sit him like once a week. That shit went out the window in like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
because he was too good. Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's your best center. You're not taking him out of the lineup, especially when Zegras is on IR now.
Man, I don't know because you're on my fantasy team. All right.
Yeah, 2 points in 13 games is just not cutting it for my fantasy team. Pierce, you still beat me by 60 this week. It didn't
Oh,
matter.
I know. You want to know why? Guess who my goalies are?
Oh my god, I don't know. Who are they? Jonathan Quick? Swayman.
No. Yeah, it's Swayman and Hill.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, that'll do it. My best
Oh, yeah.
player is Draisaitl, so that should tell you how good my team was this week. Wet fart.
That kind of describes the Oilers right now. It's just a wet fart.
Dude, they play the Islanders tonight, and I'm really hoping the Islanders just drop 7 on them at home. Like, please. Like, they're back home in Edmonton, and just please get fucking smoked. Because, like, I remember Collinson's first game. They lost 8-3.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking that's coming tonight from the I can't score Islanders.
I'm like getting flashbacks from those years, from that year in particular, and 2021-22, where it's just like, I hope they lose all the games. Like, I hope nothing good happens.
Dude.
There's just so much apathy. Like, oh my god, I'm so glad where the Blackhawks are where they are now, because that was
The first half
Damn.
of 2018-19, I just remember I would go to my buddy's house and be like, let's watch the game. And I'd leave by the end of the first period because it'd be 4-0, and I'd be like, "All right, man,
Yeah.
well, this is pointless. Let's go do something else."
That reminds me of that time I was having I think this would have been 2016 because my friend was a Penguins fan. It was the Eastern Conference Finals, and
Mhm.
it was Tampa Pittsburgh, and I remember one of the games, I think it was Game 4. Tampa like just dropped like 4 goals in like 1 period. I remember like, hey, let's watch the game, and then by the end of it, he's like, no, let's not watch this anymore. And I think they ended up winning that game still, but I couldn't help but laugh. That's what
dude.
it reminded me of.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh, and also a shout out Luke Evangelista, 9 points in 14 games. Predators legend.
Predators legend. He's no Cole Smith though, or Jakob Brennan.
Actually, the only other rookie I want to shout out is Bobby Brink because Bobby Brink,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
after he got his first goal, guy just realized I could play offense in this league. So, shout out to him. 'Cause-
And John Tortorella is his head coach.
Hey man, Philly's playing pretty good this year. Like for expectations, like they're better than
You know what's
expected.
good? I haven't heard anything about Philly.
Yeah.
Usually when we hear about the Flyers, it's because there's some bullshit going on. That's probably a good thing I
Mhm.
haven't heard of them.
And Mitchkov is doing just fine in the KHL. Like they are doing the right thing right now. Let's put it that way.
It's like they have a GM that knows what they're doing.
It's because Eddie Olczyk was in the building once upon a time.
Yeah.
It's because Patrick Sharp is there.
And so that's right. Patrick Sharp is with the Flyers. Originally
Mhm.
drafted by the Flyers and got traded here for I don't know who. I couldn't tell you, but I know he's traded for the Flyers.
Yeah. Flyers, Blackhawks, and Stars. All right,
All
let's
right.
get to Reddit stories.
Let's get to some sweet Reddit stories. So
What's
first
the
things
topic
first-
today, Coach?
So I got a plethora of topics. So the first one, I'm going to start with malicious compliance, which is people conforming to the letter but not the spirit of a request. So let's go through this one. I organized a rebellion against the professor in my political science class. This is about 10 plus years ago when I had returned to the local university to finish my bachelor's degree in political science. The preface: I was a non-traditional student, so I was a little older and a little more willing to question things. I was taking 3000 level political science course, so it was designed for my poli-sci majors and was required for my political science degree. It was a fairly basic political science course, but the professor did some weird things. Specifically, there was a quiz every class over the assigned reading. These quizzes made up a significant part of the grade. But here's the tricky part. He seemed to be doing some sort of experiment with the wisdom of crowds. The setup. The correct answer for a quiz question was the answer that was given by the most students in the class, a plurality, whether it was based in fact or not. Whatever the most students said was the answer was the correct answer. For example, if the question was, what year was the U.S. Constitution ratified? Even thought he factually correct answer would be 1789. If the majority of people chose 1776, then 1776 was the right answer, and you got credit for your answer. If you
kind
chose
of, hold on,
17,
sorry. What kind of echo chamber class is this? We're gonna teach you how to change facts, guys. Sorry.
that sounds like Alex Jones clash.
Ben Shapiro. It's Ben Shapiro class.
Actually, yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
don't even want to. Yeah.
Actually, the whole class agreed that this should be happening. So this is real. That's not get own liberals. Sorry.
This was made up by the feminists. No. This forced you to make a decision. Try to be factually accurate, or try to figure out what the crowd was going to do and go with that. Ben Shapiro's probably like, don't go with what history says. Don't be a sheep. Do the research yourself. That's exactly what.
Go by the facts and logic. 'Cause
Yeah.
Facts can't hurt. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Neither guaranteed you a correct answer. The majority of the time, the majority of students would actually choose a factually correct answer, but if it was a common misconception or the question was poorly worded, then that could lead to a situation where the crowd was wrong. But here's what drove me nuts. One, I was not willing to make my grade dependent on whatever the other students thought might be the correct answer. Two, my grade became dependent on conforming to what the crowd said was true. I'm conforming to the liberal.
I
ones,
can't believe she was
obviously.
conforming to the crowd, the normies.
To
Oh
the
my
woke,
god.
to the woke normies. I
Can't
had no
even
real
believe this.
control over my grade since the wisdom of the crowd could be anything. A class of 30 students was probably not a large enough crowd to give you a good example of the wisdom of the crowds. The learning material was not the point. Conforming to the crowd was what got you a good grade. Of course, conforming to the woke liberal norms is what got you far in life. Cue malicious compliance and rebellion. I figured out that if we all agreed to choose the same answer for every question, then we could all guarantee ourselves a perfect score on the quiz. In reality, I needed only a plurality of people to go along with my plan. As long as I could muster enough votes for an answer, then we could control our destiny. It didn't matter if A was the correct answer or not. If we controlled the votes, we controlled our grades. And anyone who didn't go with us, they were going to fail regardless of if their answer was actually correct or not. I met everyone at the door to the classroom and explained the plan. For every question, we are going to choose the first option. If it's multiple choice, it's option A. If it's true or false, we are choosing true. If we all agree to this, then we can all get perfect scores. If you decide to go against this, your answer will be wrong. The first class we did this, the professor figured out after a few questions that we're gaming the system. He had us redo the quiz and graded us on the factually correct answers. After the second class we did this, the professor changed the rules. There were two answers that would get you full points, the factually correct answer and whatever answer the majority agreed upon. In the end, I was okay with this arrangement. I could study and give the correct answer without being penalized for not conforming to the crowd thinking, or if I made the same mistake as the majority of people, then I still got credit for it, and it was a good discussion point for the class. Yes, I got an A in the class. I'm not sure if the professor ever figured out who organized the rebellion, but I did end up working with him in grad school, and we got along just fine. Afterwards, I always wondered, did he do this to teach us about the power of grassroots organizing? It might not have been his intention, but he turned me into a leader even though I never wanted to be one. I organized a campaign to overthrow bad leadership, and we created a new regime where truth and discourse were both valued. And we learned that a plurality of voters can determine the path forward even if they're not the majority. P.S. This whole scheme was flawed and subject to the tyranny of the majority. I'm not sure how he didn't see this. It seems pretty basic to me. One, or maybe he was trying to teach us about game theory. I never did figure that out. Two,
Oh my god,
let's
is that a
be
Matt
honest.
Pad reference?
It's like those memes where it'll like circle something related to someone. It's like that part is circle and it just shows Matt Pat like theory, Matt Pat, game theory, Matt Pat. Yeah.
It's like the big ass arrow.
Yeah.
Game
And let's-
theory? Matt
yeah.
Pat question mark for now?
yeah, it just shows him in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Show
Yeah.
him in fucking Chica. Sorry.
Oh my god, that's so good. And let's be honest, if you knew the right answer, try to figure out what the majority of people would do as a losing proposition. You knew the answer, so trying to figure out how the majority of people could get a question wrong forced you to think opposite to what got you to answer to the correct answer in the first place. 3, not 100% accurate, but close enough. In a sense, we were randomizing correct answers. So anyone who wasn't going along with our plan could really only hope for 25 to 30% correct answers, assuming that the distribution of factual answers was random. Damn, that was a lot.
Yeah, a lot is the way I would describe that too. What the fuck? Like that like I hated those quizzes in college anyway, but like if that was how they worked, I probably would have left. I would have filed a complaint or some shit because that's bullshit. Like I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and this person said that.
We can as a group just pick the wrong answer and it can be right. That's
Mhm.
so stupid. You don't learn anything from that.
No, you do not. And like this person said that they were a bit older, so I'm guessing this person might be like in their mid, maybe late 20s, whereas a lot of these kids are probably in maybe still 18, 19, early 20s, where you're still kind of nervous in being in college and university or whatever, and you don't want to like rock the boat, whereas you're in your mid to late 20s, you've seen more stuff, you've had more experience, you're more to be like, okay, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, that was a story. We're good on them for not complying to the woke liberal norms. But yeah, that was interesting. And then after they were like, oh, I wonder if they did this professor did it on purpose. Yeah, I don't know how the hell you get a job by doing this or how you can run a
Professor's a
classroom by
fucking
doing
weirdo.
that. Yeah, but good on those people to figure it out and do a rebellion.
I was gonna say also, this is why the professor review websites will stay king because
Mhm.
if you did your homework, you probably knew about this beforehand.
Yeah,
But dude, that's fucking wild. Like
that is, and we ain't talking Minnesota.
there you go.
Kitty Foreman. All right, so that's the one malicious compliance out of the way. That's definitely what I would like to do more going forward. We're gonna read a couple of true off my chest, and I only picked them up because they say NSFW.
Oh boy.
I have never been more satisfied. Period. I can't talk to many people about this as it's a humble brag, but not everyone is as fortunate at the moment. The phrase humble brag is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as a humble brag.
Get him.
I I had a shitty past couple decades of bad partners, bad sex, a bad marriage, almost being financially ruined by my ex, depression, but having to keep a smile on for my kids throughout divorce. It was torture. I had accepted the fact that I would likely never date again. I was going to focus on my kids and rebuilding my life. Then I stumbled upon my partner who was hiding in plain sight. He is the sweetest, kindest, most understanding, gentle human being I have ever met. Ah, that's weird. I've never dated anyone. Anyways, so it's so reserved. I was scared of getting hurt or letting myself trust again. My kids adore him. He's so good with them. I love him so deep in my soul that it aches. He makes me feel so loved, safe, and so protected. I can talk to him about anything and not be scared of how he'll react. He always meets me with kindness and understanding. I am pregnant about halfway through, and I'm so excited to be making him a daddy. He's so excited he finally get this chance, and I'm so honored that I can share my life with him. And and the sex is so mind-blowingly incredible. I've never had someone make me feel so so comfortable in my own skin, make me orgasm. I'm so obsessed. His touch alone just turns me on. Our passionate connection is incredible. He talks about marriage, something I never thought I'd be interested again, and he makes my heart so happy. I want his whole mind, body, and soul. We're going to be in a position to buy a house in a couple of years. Our future looks so bright. I haven't had a positive outlook for my life in a very, very long time, but every day this man makes me look forward to our future together, raising our family and living out our days just loving each other completely. That's such a that's such a wholesome story.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, great for them. Like I don't have anything else to add, but I just wanted I just wanted to see. I just saw I've never been so more satisfied. Period. I had to read that out. Good for those. Good
Yeah,
for them.
good
Good for
for
their
her.
family. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hope the good
'Cause-
luck keeps going.
Because when you probably go through a few relationships, divorces like that, you don't want to like get in a relationship because you're afraid you might get hurt again. So that's awesome that finally found someone that loves her, appreciates her, and they have just great sex. So you know what? That's
What
the
else
bonus.
can you
That's the
ask
cherry on
for?
top. Exactly. Here's another one. Drove my chest, NSFW. My husband took the time to learn how to cook me a perfect steak. So almost 9 years ago, my now husband and I went on our first date. It was at a sushi restaurant, but I would soon learn that it was the only sushi place in town that he actually liked. And he only brought me there because my dating profile said I grew up in Hawaii and fish, sushi, poke places were my favorite, absolute favorite. He absolutely hates fish. Our second date, we bummed around the city for 8 hours on his motorcycle because I told him I didn't know if I wanted to buy a cat or a gun. I bought a cat. Our third date was going to pick her up from the shelter. We just had to put her down yesterday. Oh shit. I've seen him cry 3 times in the last almost decade. And putting down the only cat he's ever liked is one of those 2 times. Damn. We moved in together after only a couple months in the fall because when you know, you know. And the very first Valentine's Day we were together, he was like, we can't really afford to do much. Do you have any ideas? And I was like, I know I want you to get me a chocolate and flowers, but I want an actual live plant, not something that's going to be dead in a week. What do you want? And he was like, steak and a blowjob. What's with that face? I thought you liked giving me. And to be honest, I've had so many boyfriends that just say you just haven't had steak cooked the right way. They proceeded to make me a steak that was slightly less awful than my mother cooking perfectly good T-bones, unseasoned and medium well. None of them ever asked me specifically what I did like about steak. None of them even tried to find out that I just didn't like T-bones cut to begin with because they were so fatty. So after some pretty intense questioning on exactly what I don't like about steak on that very first Valentine's Day, my now husband tells me, I want you to buy 2 really nice sirloin cuts. Make sure they're at least an inch thick. You'll be in charge of making the potatoes and salad, but I'll cook the steaks. We'll have dinner here at home instead of going out. So I buy exactly what he told me to get. Make some bomb-ass mashed potatoes. Yeah, let's go. And a killer salad, cream cheese and the potatoes. It's a game changer, I promise. Salad was baby spinach, walnuts, dried cranberries, raspberry. I can't say that word. And blue cheese crumbles with a can of green beans heated up, butter, salt, and pepper, and some garlic or onion powder are your best friends. This man who questions why I don't like steak makes me the first ever rare sirloin steak I've ever had. I'm honestly shocked that I like it. The evening progressed exactly as he wanted. But he did actually ask for honest criticism on the actual meal because basically it was still more truly than I like because fish is just so perfectly soft and tender. But this wonderful, kind, patient man took 3 more tries at cooking steak and asking for honest feedback before he fucking nailed it. Pun and innuendo intended. Our Valentine's Day tradition is still plant/chocolate steak/blowjob. But honestly, anytime I come home with nice thick sirloins, he knows that's not the only meat I'll be eating that night. Ew. First comment, which is exactly what I think. What the actual fuck did I just read? Good on both of you.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Some people are like really comfortable. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I was expecting more sexual, and I was like, "Oh, this is how you make a bomb ass steak."
I want to know what type of steak she never said like what the type is that she likes. But she said he made it really rare, and then he did
Yeah.
it 3 more times. So I'm guessing she likes medium. I don't know. Like
Mhm.
says she likes it now though, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. I fucking love steak. Medium
Yeah,
rare.
steak's fucking
always.
amazing. Yeah, medium rare. Come on now.
Mhm.
Let's be real. I'll eat it rare. I
Okay.
don't give a fuck.
And we got a couple of Am I the Assholes here. I actually have 4, but I'll read 2 of them. We're gonna start off with Am I the asshole for making my sister sleep in the dog bed outside? Okay. So I'm currently in a leg and arm cast due to an accident, and so temporarily moved back home with the rents and my younger sister. My parents are currently out of town, and so it's just me and my sister. My sister has a tendency of leaving her keys behind / losing them, and usually we have to open for her. She was going out for a party Friday night, and I warned her to triple check that she had her keys before she left. Surprise, surprise! She left the keys behind, so she called me at like 3 a.m. drunk and telling me to open up for her. Getting up is missions in my condition, and I'd warned, so I told her straight up that I wasn't coming downstairs to open for her, so should call a friend and stay there for the night. Hung up then put my phone on do not disturb. He screamed my name for a while until one of the neighbors told her to shut the fuck up. And so she, instead of calling a friend, decided to sleep in the old dog bed outside. Found her there in the morning and woke her up to get inside. She was hella pissed and yelled at me for making her sleep in the dog bed. She also found a tick on her later and blames that on me too. We've been fighting back and forth over this, and so here we are for some impartial voices. I feel bad that she slept outside, but also feel like that was a poor choice on her part. Am I the asshole?
I don't even know what to fucking say to that one, dude. Like, go. Oh my god. So, I want to know what like transpires to make you think, oh, well, I'm not gonna try anything else. I'm just gonna sleep in the dog bed. Like, damn.
Like
all
that,
right.
that was her only choice of like, yeah, if you don't do that, I'm gonna be from this top. If you don't, you're not coming in. I'm gonna be in the top window because I can't go downstairs. But I'm holding a gun to you, and you better get in that doghouse right now. Like it sounds like she had other options to maybe stay at a friend's or like I don't know, stay in a hotel or what. It's the thing is, it sounds like it's probably happened before because even if like with that injury, like if this was a first time thing that happened. He'd be like, he probably would have done it, but like, be like, oh, just for next time, make sure you're more responsible with that. But then obviously he said like she always forgets her keys and all that stuff. And if he's done that before and now he has an injury that really limits him, hurts him from going to unlock for her, like I don't
Also,
know. I
y'all
don't know
won't
what to
do the
say.
key
Yeah.
under the rug thing. Like, there's no
Mhm.
spare somewhere. Like, come
Yeah.
on, guys. Also, like, just be more like she needs to be more responsible. Like, obviously,
Like not only like with drinking, like if you're going out drinking, you can get wasted however you want. I don't care, but you have to. One thing, you have to have a designated driver or a plan to go home, whether that is by like someone picking you up or someone who's there who's not drinking or getting a taxi, Uber, whatever. That's like step one. And step two, like you got to make sure you have a place you can get home safely, that you have your keys with you. And obviously having your keys is a big part of that. If you don't, and if like someone leaves the house or for the day or and you don't know that, like you never know what can happen. You always got to bring your keys when you're going out. Like, and not having that, like that it just sounds like this person is incredibly irresponsible and just again like she's making it seem as if she forced him or he forced her to sleep in the doghouse when it was very much not the case. Like not the asshole.
not the asshole, not a chance.
Yeah, first reply, not the asshole. He didn't make her sleep outside. She chose to sleep outside instead of trying to call a friend or remember her keys. This is on her. You told her to check and she didn't. Yeah, this. If she's old enough to be out getting drunk, then she's a fucking adult. A 10-year-old can remember their keys for coming home from school. And if she called you, she easily could have called someone. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's right. Us former latchkey kids have been responsible for house key since age 8. She needs to get it together. Yeah. Yeah, if it was like a one-off thing where she just accidentally forgot her keys, like it wouldn't have been a big deal. But obviously, this is usually when these stories happen, they're usually repeat offenders, and that's why the person who's dealt with this many times doesn't want to help them out. So that, yeah, not the asshole. Oh boy. Am I the asshole for wanting to invite friends to my daughter's wedding? Okay, this looks like a no. This is gonna be the last one because this is a novel. All right, let's buckle in here. My daughter is getting married to her partner of 8 years in September of 2024. We have been arguing over this, and she told me to post this here for videos. That's a great sign when you're having a family fight. Just go to Reddit. Don't like talk it out, or don't go to a therapist. That's a great idea. We're off to a great start. For context, I am paying for the whole wedding. She is pretty introverted and doesn't have a lot of friends she wants to invite. Her husband, to be on the other hand, is very extroverted and has a lot of people he would invite given the chance. I thought it would be fair then that the bride's side gets 30 invites and the groom's side gets 30 invite, as we are on a budget. Since my daughter doesn't have a lot of people and there are spots on her side left over after family and her friends, I have people I want to invite. Between my husband and I, we have 13 people to invite. To be honest, there was no leaving them out one way or the other, as we have social obligations to invite them anyways. I feel as though since we are paying for this and are hosting it, we should get a say in who comes regardless. My daughter has said that this is not how it normally works and that her and her fiance should have first priority in who comes, and the spot should be dedicated to her fiance's friends before mine if there are limited seats. She also said that this is their wedding and not my class of 74 reunion, but him and his family are not financially contributing to this at all. It will reflect poorly on me if I don't invite me and my husband's people. She's refusing to see my side and says that her fiance being limited in his guests and his parents only being allowed to invite 2 people because they aren't in a place to contribute is unfair. If I'm not allowed to throw this up to my standard, I do not want my name on it. They can do what they want, but I have half a mind to pull my money from the equation if they insist on not allowing who I want to be there. I told them they will have full control over everything else. It will still be their big day. I just want my friends there to support the big day. Is that really so wrong? Am I the a-hole? I am starting to think I have a bridezilla and a groomzilla on my hands. After seeing some replies, I would like to add some information. We are white and live in the US, so not of Asian culture. We have a lot of families, so the breakdown of my daughter's side is 14 family members, 3 of her friends, and 13 of mine. She says she doesn't have a problem with me inviting my friends. She has a problem being limited in her and her fiance's friends. My social obligations to my friends are because I have known some of these people for 50 plus years, and I do not want to ruin friendships that strong. I was invited to their children's wedding, so why would they not be invited to my child's wedding? My son opted to not have one, so this will be my only opportunity. And there's an update, but we'll read that afterwards.
Dude, fuck this guy. Honestly.
It's a
It's gonna
gap.
ruin our 50 years of fucking friendship if you don't come to my daughter's
Yeah.
wedding. It's like fuck
Well,
you.
if you've
bro.
gone through 50 years of a friendship and that's what ends it, then maybe
Maybe it wasn't a good friendship,
yeah,
bud.
maybe it wasn't a great friendship. Yeah.
Fucking, oh, God, this sounds. Maybe I have a bridezilla and a groomzilla on my hands. No, maybe you're just fucking crazy. How about that one?
I feel like a lot of the times when not just to like weddings, but like their, parents, child's like graduations, baby showers, like any big moments in life, I feel, not saying all parents do that, but I feel a good portion of parents are like, this is not my time. Like this is more for me as opposed to them doing for their kids. Like it sounds like they're paying for the wedding, the parents are paying for the wedding, and they're saying like, yeah, we absolutely have to, like there's no other way. Like they're like their daughter and her fiance like force them into paying for, like they don't have to pay for the wedding. And like you this shouldn't be like about your day. Like you shouldn't be inviting random people. Well, like these people, but maybe your children don't know these people. Like make this day all about your daughter and her fiance and not about you. Even if you don't really mean it to be that way, I think that's what it is. It's just, I always think of that opening scene from The Graduate where Ben is in his room and like all these people he has no idea about are like going up. So you were the the leader in the cross country at your university or whatever, and like, oh, you should do this, you should get into this when you're older. Like these people that have no idea who you are, because it's more so the parents like parading your child out as opposed to making it just about your child. It's it just seems like one of those situations where the parents are trying to make it more about them,
Yep.
more so than the brides.
Yeah, and it's just fucking sad, honestly.
Yes. First reply, you're the asshole. I get the argument that you should have a say in the guest list to a degree if you're funding the wedding, but this is still their day. They clearly don't feel these people have been meaningfully close enough to their relationship to include them. They want to invite people who they feel are closer with, and your split down the middle rule seems flawed in that your sister or daughter doesn't want as many guests. Pull out of funding if you can't reconcile the idea of giving your daughter the day she deserves. But be prepared to hate the guest list even more and face the possibility of your own exclusion. That's another thing. Like, if that happened, like my parents, but like if I ever had anyone do that, I'd be like, you're not coming to the wedding if you're acting like that. Like,
Get the fuck out of here. You're not
yeah,
ruining my day because you want to be a
mm-hmm,
fucking brat and
mm-hmm,
party with your friends at my biggest day. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm paying.
Like, shut up. Like,
As if you're being forced to pay. Like you're just
You're-
doing this in the
like
kindness
you
of
said,
your heart.
this is the only time you get to do this. You should be accommodating.
You should be
not-
doing you should be doing everything, pulling up all the stops to make sure that your daughter and her friends that she wants to invite, and same with her fiance and his family and his close friends, you got to be doing everything, pulling up all the stops to make sure that they're accommodated and that it's a bomb ass wedding, and it does not sound like that right now.
Look at what I just
to-
said. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
What?
I did Joe Biden meme. I saw a
Yeah.
picture of him with Mark Stone.
Oh my god! I forgot.
I'm sorry. I
For the
just saw that.
folks.
I was just like, oh my god, the amount of fucking Biden memes we said. I gotta fucking send this one. Oh,
Also,
You-
Rose putting that tweet before. Hang on, what was it? I got deserve short as a gene that needs to be distinguished at Peaches Cast. So
Real.
right.
well, it'll be extinguished for a month and a half. They got to go to the North Pole.
Oh my god.
Bro, you're gonna get that Christmas bonus, bro. They signed
Oh
a
my
lifetime
God.
contract. That's not my problem.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
It's not my problem, bro.
And to wrap up that comment, your daughter and future son-in-law are not being unreadable or winning Zillas in their request for people they care about to be present at their wedding. You are being unreasonable for wanting your friends there in lieu of theirs. It's not about you. 14.5 K upvotes. That's
Get
crazy.
fucked, buddy. Like, you're so in the wrong on this one.
All right, let's read the update. This is OP's
God.
daughter. My mom didn't want to read through a lot of the replies when she saw it was going in her favor. It wasn't going in her favor, and got the general consistency of her being judged as the total asshole. I guess the point of me asking her to post this was to really gauge who was being unreasonable here. Unfortunately, this isn't rage bait, it's my life. LOL, her opinion hasn't changed, and so long as she is paying, she's standing firm on her requirements. I also wanted to clarify that I was willing to fund my own wedding. It would have been a much smaller affair or even just an elopement at that point, but I was okay with that. But she insisted on funding it because she wanted me to be able to have an actual wedding. 8 of the 13 people are strangers to me, but the money for 6 of them was going to be paid with money from outside of the wedding budget money. The 8 people I don't know are using spots from my half of the guest list, who quite honestly I would have preferred to give to my fiance's friends, since I hope to get to know them more. But it is what it is. I don't mind her friends. I know most of them, I guess. I know this isn't the update most wants, but we'll be going ahead as is. You've all given me perspective in moving forward, and there are a lot of layers to our relationship. Some of the speculation is correct, though I don't want to delve too deep. I think we're all going to need some therapy. LOL, money has already been put down, and I wouldn't want it to be wasted. Also, some of your comments are absolutely sending me. Y'all are funny, so thanks for the laughs. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This is the bride-to-be signing off for now.
Here's my thing with the way that just transpired. The parents should not be surprised when there's a second party thrown and it's way bigger and it's more fun.
Better.
And you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. It's one of those moments that your daughter's gonna she'll remember for the rest of her life, just not for the reasons that you would want to remember your wedding.
Yeah, I was
for.
gonna say that's gonna leave a bit of a.
She's got to
sour
introduce
note.
herself to fucking Sheila and the fucking tennis gang now, because you know you need to have your little friends at your daughter's
Oh my
wedding.
god, it's Gertrude. She babysat you when you were 2 months old. Oh, we used to do knitting together in high school.
Fucking stupid. At one point, you just gotta be. Yeah, I would have just done my own wedding at that point. I would have. Yeah, fuck that. Honestly.
And like, it doesn't even, at least the daughter doesn't even sound like she wants to have a giant wedding. It just sounds like she wants to have like a chill, low key, like
Mm-hmm.
wedding where you're not having hundreds of people here, like where it's a very small group of people. Which, being honest, I would rather that than like having hundreds of people and having to like get to remember everyone who's there. Yeah, like no thanks. I don't even know if I would have 100 people to invite to a wedding. So,
Mhm.
that's crazy. Have you ever been to one? I've never been to a wedding.
Yeah, I've been to
but-
a couple. My brother's wedding. That shit was a blast.
Yeah,
It
that's.
was also like right before COVID started, so that was fucking weird. But
I was supposed to go to a wedding and in the summer of 2020, but obviously COVID happened, and then they ended up getting married just like a year later. So,
yeah,
but I was told like with someone I work who's a bit older than me, they're like, yeah, it might be a while till you go to your first wedding, but like once you go to a wedding, it'll happen in like spurts. Like
Yep.
if when you go to one wedding, it's domino effect. You'll go to like 5 weddings.
it's
and
fucking
you'll do
wedding
something.
season, kid. Come
Yeah.
on. But yeah, last wedding I went to was like last December, I want to say. But
Huh.
yeah, weddings are fun. They're a lot of fun, especially if you have like a little group of people that you know there.
Mhm.
Not 7 of the 13
Oh my
people,
God. Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, like my aunt got married, so I was with my cousins and stuff. It was a fun time. Like I don't know, man. Weddings are great. Everyone's happy.
In time, it'll happen. So that's
Well, my
that's
friends
it
are
for Red
assholes and they all
Stars.
get married and don't have weddings. So that shit's been pissing me off. Literally, I've had 2 friends get married and they're just like, yeah, we're not having a ceremony. I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. Like
Yeah,
we want to celebrate your day, but it's fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a giant like ceremony like wedding, but like I would still invite. Fuck, I would invite you guys to the wedding. Like I would
Yeah,
have.
y'all are
Yeah.
at my wedding. My wedding's gonna be a big wedding.
You be my
I-
best man.
My wedding's gonna be a big wedding. There's no way around it.
Hell
Too
yeah.
much family. Like my brother's wedding, I think was like, and even half the people didn't show up, and it was still like 75, 80 people.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah.
Hey, Roll
Fun
E.
stuff.
I think that's it. We can end off here.
Sweet.
Friggin' sweet. Thank
Hey,
you,
bro, that's
thank you for
fucking
tuning
sweet.
in. So bad. Thank
Yeah,
you for
bro, this
tuning
is
in to our podcast. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Smash it even. Put on the notification bell. Like this video. Share it with your friends. All that fine stuff. So thank you for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your Monday night. Peace out.